Welcome back on the AM show. We get into our big stories now. And first on the chopping board, peasant farmers have raised the alarm at the source of data to be used for the distribution of cash and equipment through the government's intervention program for the thousands of farmers affected by the latest dry spell. We'll hear from them as the government begins to carry through this support program. Joining the conversation, we have Akufo-Addo Adugwala. He is National President, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. He's going to break down for us why they are adopting this position. Good morning, sir. Mr. Adugwala, if you can hear me.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you join the conversation.
Good morning.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Let's also bring in Anthony Morrison. He is with the Chamber of Agri-Business, and he has joined the conversation. Mr. Adugwala, I can hear you. I'd like to find out from you, why have you taken this position where you feel that the data being used for the distribution is not apt, it is not fit for purpose? Why?
Yeah, good morning once again. For us in the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, you know, when the drought happened in northern Ghana, of course, we have a lot of members in northern Ghana. So what we did was that we needed to contact our focal persons at the various districts. This is the situation because we have received calls from them that their farms were affected by the drought spell. So if this is the situation, then what are we supposed to do? So if you remember, we're the first to call on government to quickly look at the situation in the north to avert any food crisis. So after making that call, luckily government also announced through the Minister of Food and Agriculture, they announced certain interventions, even though we had challenges with some of them. But of course, I want to zero down on the recent intervention that government wants to start. We have always been on the neck of government. We thought there should have been a stakeholder engagement. The farmers, of course, will come on board, the various stakeholders like the farmers and other interest groups. So we sit together to provide data. Of course, government too can do their own work. But what we are critical about is that we want to be sure that peasant farmers who have been affected have been captured in the data. It's very, very important to us. We want to ensure that the peasant farmers have been captured in the data for any government intervention. As I speak to you, as I said yesterday, I was calling our members in the various regions, that is in Northeast region, in Upper West region, in Northern region, to ask them whether our members' names have been included. They made contacts with the district directors of agriculture, and they couldn't provide any data. In fact, some of the directors are saying that it's now that they are compiling the data. They are compiling information.
So hold for me.
As to
hold for me. You are saying that the district directors of Agri are saying they don't have the data. They are now compiling it as of now.
Exactly. Some of them say it's now that they are compiling the data. Because we ask our focal persons at the district level to get the data to ensure that our members are on the list. So as I speak to you now, it's now that some of the district directors of agriculture are now compiling data as to which farmer is affected. It's not only the data, they have to also map your farm. So if we have already started the distribution, in fact, and when I even called, we made contacts on the ground. Some of them have been calling me. They said they have not seen any distribution in their area. But government says we are starting on 10th. But is the distribution not going to be... We are starting on 10th.
Is the distribution not going to be gradual? They will not do all the farms and districts at once, will they?
Well, that is why we expect to hear from government, because as we speak, we don't know where the distribution is taking place. We don't know where the distribution is currently taking place as we speak.
Let me ask you this. So are you saying that of the peasant farmers, I don't know what your number is. You can let me know what your number is. But are you saying that none of your farmers has got some of these supplies, the equipment and other support? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, as we speak, government, the areas that we have our members, government is yet to start the distribution there. And all what we were doing was to make sure that our members are on the list. Those who have been affected are on the list. As we speak, we don't know where the distribution has started. We don't know. We are yet to come to terms with that, because where our members are located in the various districts, what they are telling us is that the distribution is yet to.
Can you hear me? I would like to find out how many of your members have been affected before we get, how many of your members were affected?
Yes. So as we speak, if you look at the northeast region, and then you look at the upper west region,
I think somehow we
have been affected.
How many?
Hello?
Yes, how many have been affected?
Yes, we have not less than 2,000 of our members who have been affected, not less than 2,000, because as of yesterday, some were still reporting to our regional people. So those who have been affected per our day, in fact, they are more than that, but those that are in our known are not less than 2,000. But our members are still reporting that some are coming to indicate that this is the situation on the ground. But what we are saying is that all what we needed to know is that when you go to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture at the district level, they are able to provide the data. This is the data of affected farmers. Then we know, are our members included, or are they captured the right data? But if the district directors of agriculture cannot provide that data, in some cases, some are even saying that it's now that they are compiling the data.
Okay.
So how do you do the distribution at the same time, the district directors compiling the data at the same time?
Okay.
So we are seeing these two not to be a match, because the data should have been compiled, stakeholders validate the data, then the distribution begins. You are starting the distribution and the data is not available.
Mr. Adugwala, let me interject. Let me bring in the Agric Minister, Dr. Brian Champo. He's been speaking to the issues. Yeah. I want you to listen to what he says and find out whether that gives you some answers to the questions you have. Let's listen to Dr. Brian Champo.
Look on the screen there. I have 839,000 farmers across the country that I'm tracking their activities. Every one of the 830,000 farmers. And every day, the number keeps going up. Today alone, we've registered more than 20,000 farmers, just today.
Those who are signing up to get the package that you're offering to them?
And, well, we are registering farmers in this country so that we are able to track their activities. When they do land development, when they plant the seed, what type of seed they plant, the yield of the seed, what type of fertilizer they apply, when they apply it, the expected yield of the farm, when the harvest is going to be, when the product is coming on the market, the cost of the farmer's input, and the expected farm gate price of the product, and then the market price of the product. We are tracking all that, and I'm saying that I am, as we speak, 839,000 farmers are registered, and I'm sitting here, I'm able to know what each one of them is doing, and therefore I am able to track what quantity of maize is going to come on the market, what the price is going to be, and if it is going to be south, I know how to prop it up. That is what we're doing. Intelligent food systems planning. It's not just something that we're just pulling out of a Houdini and saying that we don't know. We know what we are talking about. We've planned it so, and that's exactly what is going to deliver. We need to get our food systems back on track to help the farmers in the north get back into production very, very quickly. And what you do is that because they've lost their crop, a majority of them, they've lost their open pollinated seeds, we give them seeds and fertilizers immediately. And to be able to get the south to produce quite a good quantity of maize so that we can meet our 2.5 million metric tons or 2.4 million metric tons of maize that we require per annum, we have to also give significant quantity of inputs to farmers in the south. And so today, on the 8th, yesterday, we started moving fertilizers from our warehouses to the regional distribution centers to be given to farmers. So that has started. We also promised farmers that we will give them food. And these are farmers in the 8 regions, the transition and then the transition zones and the savannah zone. That too, we have about currently 34,000 metric tons of rice. from our warehouses that are moving to the regions. And then we have a lot of drip tipper trucks that are going to take it from the regional distribution centers to the districts for onward distribution to the farmers. So that is really the only way you can be a beneficiary is if you are a farmer and your farm is registered.
Are they registering?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a farmer's details. You can check on the screen. The farmers are registering. We have 3,000 boots on the ground, ensuring that every single farmer that is affected is captured on the system. There's no other way.
Mr. Addo, did you get answers to your questions?
Yeah.
He says you must be, they are looking at 830,000 farmers and counting every day, and that as far as this program is concerned, you must be a farmer and your farm must be registered, among other processes. Have you got your answers, and have your farmers complied with these, requirements?
Yes, thank you very much. You know, the registration the Honorable Minister is talking about is where we have a challenge. If you go to the ground, many of the districts, the extension officers are not enough. You know, this registration started for the planting and food and jobs phase 2. That was when the registration was launched.
Hello, Mr. Addo.
And even after that, they are supposed to go to their farms to go and map the farms. Some of the tablets had a lot of challenges. And most of the districts you go, you look at the ratio of extension officer to the number of farmers was not encouraging. You can have about 5 extension officers with over 100,000 farmers. So as he speaks, you can just send your reporters down to some of the districts. A number of farmers have not been able to register because the extension officer ratio to the farmer is not encouraging. Number 2, the tablets have been faulty. Some of the apps are not working. What do you call it, onto the platform where they'll register you, the map. That even delays in a way.
I keep losing you, Mr. Addo. I don't know what is happening.
Yes. Yes. So as I speak to you, the minister is speaking to a data maybe from the central level. But we are also looking at the district. When you have, if you go to the district level, you realize that a number of farmers are yet to be registered. From what he's saying, this registration started since the beginning of the year. As we speak, government has concluded. And I will just tell you, I was speaking to some of my farmers at the district, even where we are in Western region. This registration was even for the entire nation. Many farmers have not been captured on the database. Like I said, the issues has to do with the faulty tablets, the apps, extension officers having access to logistics because they have to move to your farm ongoing, but many farmers have not been captured. That is the issue that we are talking about. Many farmers have not been captured. That is why, as government is saying that they are starting the distribution, a number of district directors in the northern part and the areas which have been affected are still doing registration. You can just place a call to some of the directors. They will tell you, we are yet picking data. So it means the process is very slow as we speak because of a number of challenges. We expect them to speed up. Of course, it's a good thing. We buy into building a comprehensive data so that when you have the names of the farmer, you are able to map their farms, then with the intervention gets to the right people. We don't have a problem with that. We support it. However, the process is very slow, limited tablets for registration, problems with the app, limited extension officers to be able to cover the number of farmers that they are supposed to cover. And that is what we are talking about. So as we speak, registration is still ongoing. So our main issue was, once you said you have announced the distribution, as we speak, where is the distribution taking place? We don't know. They are yet to tell us exactly. We are in this region.
Is it not taking place at the districts? My final bit to you. Is it not, Mr. Addo, is it not taking place at the districts?
As far as we are aware, our farmers are still reporting to us, the regional focal persons in Northeast, in Upper West region, in OT region, that they are yet to see any distribution on the ground. And
Okay.
so our concern is that we don't want any farmer to be left out.
Okay.
We don't want any farmer to be left out. So we raise the alarm because a number of farmers have not been captured in the data, and government announced that distribution has started. And if you are not careful, and distribution has already started, and farmers are now struggling to get their names onto the database, they may be left out. That is our major source of concern.
Okay.
And like we said, we have not been able to validate this data because we also believe we are stakeholders in agriculture. These are the number of farmers who have been registered. As regional focal persons, president of the Peasant Farmers Association, regional focal persons of the peasant, you should be able to go to district director of agri and say, oh, we want to see the data of the number of farmers who have been registered for this intervention.
Okay.
And that should be made available.
All right.
But you go and the district director say the data is not available with them. They are now compiling and so
Mr.
on and
Adugwala,
so forth.
I think that point has been made. Let me bring in Farmer Morrison, and maybe I'll give you some 20 seconds each to wrap up. But I'll come to Farmer Morrison. He is with the Chamber of Agribusiness. What do you see, succinctly, briefly, on as far as this situation is concerned? Where do you stand? Do you think enough is being done by the ministry?
Good morning, Benjamin. And very good morning to the cherished viewers. So the chamber took almost 27 days in the 6 northern regions. We got back last week. We verified issues on the ground ourselves. We were in Nalugu, Walewale, Sabelugu, all across. We went to the Sisala East, Sisala West, and we had first-hand experience on the situation on the ground. I must say that it's quite sad.
Hello? Can you hear me, Anthony? All right, so it appears we can't hear much from Anthony Morrison. There's a bit of a problem with the connection. But he was saying that there were challenges and, of course, there were issues to deal with. Let's see whether we can just get him back on the line to conclude with his thoughts. Farmer Morrison, can you hear me? Anthony Morrison. Okay, so Mr. Adugwala, let me take your final thoughts on this matter. Yeah. So what is your call now? What are you hoping will be the next move from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture?
Yes, so my call at the moment is for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to ensure that all the farmers have been captured on the database. No farmer who has been affected is left behind. It's very, very important to us. And we also even have a concern about government announcing the financial package. You know, as part of the package, government was talking about giving loans to farmers. We thought once again, no stakeholder engagement has been done. If you are giving loans to farmers, the people you are giving the loans to, we need to have a meeting. What are the requirements that the farmers need? Because this is a loan that you said you want to give to support the farmers. And the people on the ground are not even aware that this is what is happening. So if an announcement is made, we want to give loans to farmers, and the farmers on the ground, we don't even know that the government is bringing us loans, what are the requirements, and when are we expected to pay back? We also have a problem with that. We want things to be done right. And you know, all these issues that are coming is as a result of lack of engagement with the stakeholders on the ground. So we think that we need to strengthen our stakeholder engagement to be able to ensure that some of these things come to bear. Because for us, we always want to validate whatever is happening on the ground because it affects our babies directly.
All right, Mr. Adugwala, point made. Thank you very much. Let's try Anthony Morrison one more time. Mr. Adugwala, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you for making those succinct points. Mr. Morrison, Anthony Morrison, if you can hear me, please go ahead with the point you were making.
Okay, so in total, we met over 7. The district with all the 6 statistics officers. I think that the issues are quite very clear on the ground. We looked at how the MOFAM is. So, you know, Ministry of Food and Agriculture have the MOFAMIS, which is the MOFA Management Information System, and also the GAP.
Well, unfortunately, Anthony Morrison, I don't think we can continue with the conversation. The connection is not helping us with this. But that has been the case. The Peasant Farmers Association saying that, listen, this thing is not being done right, and we need support. We need the right things to be done so that even the extension officers in the districts can reach out to us. We don't know what this list is, whose name is on it, which farmer's name is on it, but they are saying that the Agric Ministry must ensure that every farmer who has been affected, especially in the northern belt of the country, gets support. Well, that's how we cap off this belt of the conversation. There's still a lot more to come. We'll be engaging the boss of the technical and vocational education training in Ghana on their latest initiatives. We'll also be conferring with one of those of Democracy Hub who was incarcerated, placed in police custody in recent times. We'll be finding out what her experience was and what she has to share with us on the AM show. We'll be back.